So welcome to our video, and by popular demand, ones wanted to know how do you deal with SAT and ACT actual questions. So let's actually do that together. We have four problems to look at. One of them is in the SAT area in grammar, so let's look at that one first. So really, when we look at this, you can read the whole paragraphs, but really what they're looking for is number 4 in this first example. So it deals with possessive pronouns and or nouns. So let's see what that really means. If we would look at this right here, anything with apostrophe s we know is singular, right? So I'm just going to abbreviate there, is singular. But if it's s apostrophe, we know it's plural. Trying to write here with this mouse, trying to do as best as I can, but it's plural, right? We see that, right? So then when we look at the word clocks, it's a big hint right here. Clocks is plural, right? But it shows no possessive link to, what's it possessive in the sense of clocks ticking? Is it possessive in the sense of sound? We don't see anything like that. So when it comes to possessive pronouns or nouns, we know that this does not exist. So with that being stated, if clocks are just clocks, then which selection would we pick? It definitely has to be changed. So what answer would that be? As a tutor, I don't say the answer, but obviously if I'm with you in person, then I will coach you to the best result. So let's go ahead and move on to our next problem. So let's go ahead and erase this so we can see. Let's move on down to the SAT math portion. Now here, let's see if we can have enough room. It says basically a nice model that I developed with my teacher, Arlene Rogoff, Professor Arlene Rogoff, very helpful. And really to make, the model starts off with a statement that makes sense. So when we eat food, we know the more calories we eat, the more food we take in, or the more food we take in, the more calories we have. So it's the same idea when creating a model. So calories equals hamburgers, in this case, in this problem, plus fries, right? So we know that there are how many calories in this problem? Well, it says 1700, but before we get into that, let's put our let statement. So let x equal what we don't know. We know about the hamburgers because it gives us more details about the hamburgers, but it doesn't give us enough details about the fries. So we say that our let statement, let x equal fries, the unknown, what we don't know. So let's take that statement and let's build upon it. We know that the calories, we have 1700, and we know that the hamburgers, we have 2 orders, that, and the statement with the hamburgers, how it relates to the fries, is 50 more calories. We know more means and, or add, and then the fries. We don't know about the fries, so we know that that would be the F. Plus 3 orders of the French fries. We know it's 3 orders, but we don't know how much calories. We don't know how many calories the fries are. So that would be our expression, okay, our equation. So now let's simplify the equation. It would be 1700 equals 100 plus 2f plus 3f. Now if we simplify that, that would be 1700 equals 100 plus 5f. So now we know you can use any calculator if it's allowed in your test that you're on the test that you're taking. But in this case, it would be 1600 because we minus 100 on both sides and divided by 5 to solve for f. And I have the result of f equals 320 calories. Now that's just for the fries. What we need is the actual hamburgers. So that would be right here. So we would have to plug into that. For every F you see for hamburgers, you would put in 320. So let's do that. So f equals 320 plus 50, and that will give us a result of 370. Now 370 calories would be for one order of the hamburger, but if you want the amount of calories for 2 hamburgers, you would just go ahead and take that statement 370 and multiply it by 2. So in that case it would be, if you're using a calculator, we could do it in our heads too, but for the sake of the video and showing you, it would be 740. But just that's for 2 hamburgers, but for one it would be, again, 370. Okay, so that answers our hamburger question. Let's erase our board and let's move on to our next one, which deals with the ACT area. Let's do that one now. ACT, what we have, ACT grammar is here. Again, it's showing again a possessive pronoun, it looks like. Yes, it is. So again, a little trick to this, it starts off with it is. So that's the red, right? It is. And it's here, is. This is a popular statement, the real McCoy. So it's a statement, right? But now the possessive part of it starts at, which looks interesting, at the bottom. So let's look here. We're going to put that in blue for the possessive. We already did the apostrophe s and when they applied and so forth. So given that, really, what answer would fit the statement? Well, if we use the blues and the reds, then we can see which one should apply here, and we would have the proper result. So again, as a tutor, I don't say the answer, but if we go with the color code system, knowing that it needs to be changed, the answer needs to be changed, then we would have the proper answer. Now let's go ahead and do our last problem, which would be the ACT math. So let's look at that together. We're doing great actually in this video. And the ACT math is based on the same thing, a model that, like I said, my professor showed me, and I use it with my students, is here. We know that 90, if it's the average, it would be times 4 would be 360. So 360 equals score 1, score 2, score 3, plus the fourth score, which we do know, which would in this case would be 80 for the old list. So now we make a statement. It would come out to be 360 equals 3x plus 80. Now this is just something that you need to do on the go. With ACT and SAT, you need to be really quick. So even if you're not doing the actual result, like in this case, because I don't want to give the answer, you can still get the answer by approximation or an estimation of what the results are. So when we have that, we know that you minus 80 on both sides, and then that would be, you put in a calculator here. If they allow calculators, please use it. It's a lifesaver. And that would be 280. So 280, let's erase this here, 280 equals 3x. Now we simplify that. There's to be x equals 93.333, right? So 333 repeating, right? So what answer would that be when you approximate it? Well, looking at the result, you can see that it would be the answer that obviously looks obvious, right? But if the average is 96, then you can expect it to be a little higher. So what answer would you pick? So if it was at 80 as our original average score and it bumped up to 96, then we know more than likely the answer would be something that I'm looking at. So like I said, if I was coaching in person, I would coach you to the proper answer. So that is it for our video, and hopefully you found this to be very helpful. If you have any more questions, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching.